Myself, Dr. Chintan. I have just completed my surgery residency and I have joined as a senior resident. And I am thankful to Dr. G.J. Zorwekar sir for giving me this platform to show the basic suturing skills, which is a part of a curriculum under the GMER 2019 guidelines. So I will just start my demonstration, and I have my doctor trainee, my doctor Pooja, which is a GR3. I will teach her and I will explain all the steps, and I'll do according to the 4 steps by Patent's formula. So I'll start. Thank you. Doctor.
First describe the instruments which are used.
By doing a basic suturing skill, which is most commonly encountered in a road traffic accident or in a casualty, so basic suturing is very important and very basic thing which is done by every medical student in her life once in a medical college or in a post-graduation program. So I will be starting by showing some of the basic instruments which are needed for the simple suturing. This is the sponge holding forceps, which is used for the painting and draping while cleaning the wound. This is the needle holder, which is used for holding the needle. This is the tooth forceps, which are used for lifting of the edges. And this is a stitch cutting scissors, which are used while once the knot is put or the suture is placed. So, yeah. And for the demo, I have the suturing pads.
So this is what is simulation. So we are not using here human part because that is not allowed and not practicable. So we are using the simulation here in the form of a suturing pad, which mimics the human skin and human body part, skin and underlying layers. So we'll be using this as a simulation.
There are different types of sutures which are used according to the wound which is to be sutured. So I will start. First of all, there is a case. I'll give a case scenario. There is a young patient, 25-year-old, with a history of RTA, has come to the casualty with a CLW wound, continuous lacerated wound over the left forearm. So this will be needed a simple interrupting sutures to close the wound. So in a proper consent and proper manner, I will explain the relatives and the patient regarding the procedure which is to be required, which is to be done. So I will take his consent, then wearing a proper surgical gloves under all aseptic precautions. I will first clean the wound area with a proper antiseptic solution under aseptic precautions. So I will paint the area and I will discard the mop. Then I will put a drape which is to be placed over the cleaned area. After proper painting and draping, I will give the local anesthesia to the patient. Prior to giving a local anesthesia which is infiltrated over the wound, I will give him the sensitivity of the local anesthesia. Once the patient is, there is no sensitivity, I will infiltrate the local anesthesia over the edges or the border of the wound. So I will perform the my procedure of suturing. I will take a tooth forceps in my non-dominant hand. I will lift the edges of the one side. Then
he doesn't have to now tell the steps. He will be just doing the procedure. The trainee will be observing. So Dr. Pooja, you have to observe it. He will be doing. You just observe. He will be doing. Just observe him. So now here the trainer is not going to narrate any steps. He is just going to do the suturing. Trainee is going to observe the trainer or trainer in that regard. This is the first step of demonstration.
so my first suture has been placed. After this, all the subsequent sutures are placed. I will tell the patient to take a care, and I will explain all the related complications, and I will do proper dressing, and I will call him follow up after the required time for the suture removal. So now I will narrate all the steps, and I will show you how it is to be demonstrated and how my trainer will observe. So first of all, when a patient comes, we will in a casualty or in a condition, we will tell him and we will take a proper consent, and we will explain him on the procedure. So we will tell him and take his consent with then proper local with painting and draping will be done under local aseptic conditions. Then we will give a local anesthesia, which is to be infiltrated prior giving a sensitivity test, checking test. So after infiltrating the local anesthesia at the edges, take a tooth forceps on a non-dominant hand, like we hold a pen. So you will lift the edge of the one side of the edge of the wound. You will mount a needle in a needle holder, which is the needle is to be held from anterior junction of the anterior 2/3 and the posterior 1/3, and at the tip 1 to 1.5 mm from the tip of the needle holder. So I have to take a deep bite from the one edge, which is approximately 1.5 centimeter at the 90-degree perpendicular angle at my wrist joint. I will do my wrist joint action. I will take a deep suture and come out from the one edge. So I will come from outside in, and I will take the needle out. Similarly, exactly opposite to the same other suture, other wound, other area, I will come out inside out, equally and opposite to it. I will lift the other edge with my forceps. I'll take a deep suture. I'll come out. So there are two ends. This is the short end and this is the long end. So from long end, I will put two throws in a clockwise direction. 1, 2 throws. I will, from the tip of my needle holder, I will catch the short hand, and I will put a square knot, which is a reef knot, in the opposite direction. So my hand should go in the opposite direction. So your short hand will come to the opposite side and long hand will come to the opposite side. So second knot is in a anti-clockwise direction, which is a reverse throw. I will put a single throw on anti-clockwise direction. Now I will catch again the short hand and I will come again in opposite direction. So the square knot is put and your suture is secured tightly. So this is the second suture, and to secure it tightly, I will put one more suture, which is again from the long end, which is in a clockwise direction, as similar to first one, but I will put only one throw. So this is the one throw in a clockwise direction. I will catch the short hand again, and I will put again in a cross. My hand will cross, and this will secure my knot. And I will tell my assistant to cut the knot at 1 centimeter distance. And this is the suture which I have placed. So after completing the suture, I will do a proper dressing, by applying an ointment, and I will tell the related complications to the patient and follow up according to his suture removal. So now my trainee, Dr. Pooja, will perform the test. I will perform the test and she will narrate the steps.
Dr. Pooja can start.
Good afternoon to all the faculty. I am Dr. Pooja, geriatric surgeon. As sir has demonstrated the steps of suturing, sir will be performing the steps and I will be narrating them. As mentioned by sir before, we will be explaining the patient and his relatives the need for suturing, and we will take, after taking due consent, we will proceed with the procedure. We will wear gloves. Under all aseptic precautions, we will apply the antiseptic solution on the wound area. Then after giving a sensitivity test, we will infiltrate the wound edges with Zydophil, 2%. And then once that is done, we will take the tooth forceps in a non-dominant hand, lift one edge of the wound. Then we will mount the needle onto the needle holder at the junction of anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3, and 1 to 2 centimeters of the tip of the needle holder. Then after lifting one edge of the wound, we will pass the needle at right angles and bring it out. We will do the same with the other edge of the wound, inside out. Now there are two ends of the suture. One is the long end and one is the short end. So with the needle holder, we hold the short end and put 2 throws using the long end of the suture and take a square knot. Similarly, we'll put a second throw using the long end and another knot. And the third one, similarly, this secures the suture, and then we will cut the knot at 1 centimeter away approximately from the knot. Then we will post suturing, we will apply an antiseptic ointment onto the wound, dress it, and explain to the patient the care that is to be taken, and give follow-up advice as to when the patient has to come for suture removal.
Now there is the fourth step. All of you, you have received the checklist, and all of you can measure the performance what student is doing, and all of you can give the feedback followed by how she has done. So that is one step I have added as an assessment for the performance she is doing. There is a checklist in your WhatsApp.
I will now be explaining the steps again and performing the task as well. Once the patient arrives in the casualty, I will explain the need for suturing to the patient and his relatives. Under all aseptic conditions, I will wear the appropriate size gloves. I will then apply the antiseptic solution onto the wound area and paint it, drape it, and then after giving a sensitivity test to the wound edges, I will infiltrate the local anesthetic agent over the wound edges, wait for it to infiltrate. Then I will, in my non-dominant hand, take the tooth forceps, secure the needle onto the needle holder at the junction of anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3, and at the tip of the needle holder. I will raise one edge of the wound 90-degree angle and deep, and I'll take a deep bite, enter it, bring it out. I will do it similarly with the other edge of the wound, inside out. Now there is a short end and a long end. I will put 2 throws over the long end, hold the short end, cross my hands and make a square knot. I will do the same again. This is the second knot, the third knot similarly. Now my suture is secure. I would cut the suture approximately 1 centimeter above the knot. Apply antibiotic ointment over the suture and do proper dressing, and I will explain the post-suture care to the patient, all the risks and consequences and all the risks that the patient might encounter, and ask the patient to follow up accordingly for suturing. Thank you.
I think she needs